Good morning. This is Anaris. I will be casting a replay. And this is also not going to be the introduction that I use for my feature videos. Somebody said I needed to have a different introduction. However, that is definitely not going to be it. So anyways, game's getting started here. We have mTwDIMAGA spawning Blue Protoss down in the bottom left position. And as you can see from the good luck, have fun, GG's, we are playing mTwDIMAGA up here in the top right, who is spawning as the red Zerg. And as this game gets off to a fun start, I just wanted to remind you guys that Infernal Arena, the map that Husky and I have created, is now available on the European and the Asian realms. So, you should get with your friends, host it up. You can find the game by creating a melee 3v3. Or hopefully at some point it'll show up on the joinable, 3v3 maps as it grows in popularity. So, play the map, have fun with it, leave comments on my announcement video. Let me know what you think of the map. Hopefully you do enjoy it, as I know there are a whole bunch of requests for it to come out. However, the fact that I could not afford 2 extra copies of StarCraft led for me to look elsewhere. Fortunately, 2 members of the StarCraftArena.net forums community, Daryl and Victor, were more than willing to host it on their respective servers. So thank you again, guys, for hosting that. And this probe is going to get in here and scout. Wow, he's kind of a ballsy probe going through the drone line there. Spawning pool going down, tried to block it very close. Unfortunately, he was not able to do that. So he's going to do the next best thing and shoot his little mouth zapper thing. I don't know exactly how they shoot that, but that's okay because he's a probe and he's awesome. So drone's going to continue to be pumped here, gas getting up. Zerg base is progressing along quite nicely. Still trying to shock that drone. You would think, this thing would have a bunch of water in it and that shock would hurt the drone, but I guess not. He's just kind of swimming around, having a good time in there. So Overlord's checking out the map, getting into position, try to make sure mTwDIMAGA isn't going to do any sort of proxy pylon, as mTwDIMAGA does have a pylon going down here in the back of his base to wash over the rocks. Very typical for players to do that. Has his base up here at the ramp. Pylon is in range of ranged units down here at the base, but it's so early in the game. By the time the game progresses to where the Zerg is going to have ranged units to hit that, it's not really going to matter because he's going to have other pylons hanging out up here at the top of the ramp. Cybernetics core going down, gas on the way. Might see some workgate, might see some tech here. He probably could build some hidden tech here if he wanted to, but it probably wouldn't be a very smart move, as Zerg is most likely going to try to get vision of this. And this probe has been driven off here. He is a champ. He's lived with 10 hit points. Somehow managed to get in there, do some damage to the spawning pool, and get out with 5 hit points. Don't die, please. Make it back to the base. Yep, one hit point, ladies and gentlemen. Will he make it? He's almost at the finish line. Zealots coming down to stop the Zerglings. Denied. This probe, MVP already, and the game hasn't even really started yet. mTwDIMAGA better use this probe to build every single building in this base, man. I mean, seriously, this guy was a champ. He is, he should be promoted. He should be Supreme Probe. I don't know. Something very cool for probes, whatever they aspire to be, I don't know. But anyways, game progresses here. Zerglings trying to get up, see what is going on. However, that will definitely not happen, as there is now a sentry at the top of the ramp, as well as 2 zealots, and mTwDIMAGA is watching these Zerglings. He had his zealots selected, so if they do try to get the run by, he will might even try to bait them and then zap them with their super energy beam arm extension thingies. And mTwDIMAGA's trying to get in here to bait the Zealots out. However, these Zealots are indeed on a hold position, so they are not going anywhere, as warp gate technology is being researched here. Stalkers coming out. 2 additional gateways going down here at this hidden pylon. So these Zerglings try to run up here. If they do get vision, they are not going to see squat. All they will see is that there are 2 Zealots up here talking about the Monday night random sports game. So 4th warp gate, definitely going to see a early game push here when these warp gates are finished, as warp technology is just about researched. Meanwhile, at the Zerg base, mTwDIMAGA probably realizes, the Protoss does not want me to see what is going on in this base. So I better build up and get some defenses at my natural expansion. Queen just kind of hanging out here, doing her thing, doing what Queen do as the creep continues to expand down here with the creep tumors. Hydrodin going down, definitely a good play by the Zerg. Hydras are a very good choice when you are not 100% clear on what the Protoss or really any enemy is going. But you do want to get some defenses here early. So, as the game progresses here, Zerglings continuing to watch at the base of the ramp, waiting for that push, which is going to be coming right now. Zerglings, it looks like mTwDIMAGA did have the Zerglings selected when these Protoss units came out, so he was able to see what is coming, including a probe, which will be placing a proxy pylon up here at the watchtower in the middle of the map. And these units are going to push out, and it looks like they're going to go for the rocks. And one Stalker is going to come out here. Now, what mTwDIMAGA's probably doing is scouting to see if, if this would be a better position to attack, or if there were units here, he may have been trying to bait and kind of distract mTwDIMAGA a little bit, keep attention off of the rocks, which are now about halfway destroyed. mTwDIMAGA does have a sizable 4-gate force here. 4-gate force, that sounds kind of retarded, but anyways, that's okay. Whole bunch of sentries reinforcing the battle. Ramp has been officially cleared of the rocks, safe for movement into the Zerg base, which does have one spine crawler and several Hydras. Force fields going down, separating the Hydras. However, they were still well within range of firing. That the Protoss forces here. Queen is going to die a horrible death as his spine crawler is caught between two force fields and can't do anything, as he does die as well. I guess it was a he spine crawler, but that's okay. Drones coming in here like the champs, trying to be like the probe. However, they are definitely not probes, as they die very quickly, along with several other drones here. Force fields continuing to go down, blocking the path for the Zerglings to get a quick run into the Protoss forces. It's very, very outnumbered at this moment in time. mTwDIMAGA needs to get some forces very quickly, which here come a whole bunch of Zerglings. Very good choice versus the Stalkers, as probably most of these sentries don't have much energy left. Yep, it looks like they are all out. That was the last two force fields. So this attack will probably end fairly quickly. A couple reinforcements coming in, however, not enough. As, like I said, mTwDIMAGA does have this expansion down here, which is going with enough drones to really compensate for what he lost up here, up top, at his main expansion. More spine crawlers going down here to kind of seal the deal. So at this point, this attack is over. mTwDIMAGA is going to, or mTwDIMAGA is going to have to run back here with the double proxy pylon now. Very good move in case one died. The second one be here in time to reinforce some more units. So both players probably going to have to macro up a little bit, since that attack really didn't go as well as mTwDIMAGA wanted it to. Spawning pool did die, but at this point, I mean, we are into tier 2, so Hydras can be pumped very easily to compensate for the lack of a spawning pool, which will now be built down here, which really is, I would almost say, more secure position, as the Protoss did clear a nice path right into here. And the creep is way down here as well, so he can place the spine crawlers. Another push coming in. Ramp blocked up. Very good force field by mTwDIMAGA. Keeping that queen here. All she can do is stare and maybe transfuse if she wants to, but probably saving the energy as the Protoss continues to reinforce with the force field, taking out the overlords, doing the damage that can be done. However, really not a whole lot, as this is enough Zerg units to really hold off mTwDIMAGA. And as you can see here, these forces are dying fairly quickly. Creep continuing to expand, so the Zerg can, reinforce out here very quickly. Does have a very nice speed boost. Can effectively kite these Stalkers here. Zealots coming in, trying to take out these Hydras. However, very good micro by mTwDIMAGA, moving this one Hydra here with 2 hit points back to the back of the line. Stalkers continuing to kill the Zerglings. However, Hydras chasing them until they are off the creep and no longer a real threat, as mTwDIMAGA down here has not expanded yet. So this could go out of control very quickly, as we do see a robotics facility going down here with a robotics bay. Good switch to Colossus, very good versus the Hydras and Zergling combination. And as far as upgrades go, it looks like mTwDIMAGA does have the 1 damage upgrade. Very good for Protoss to get as early as possible, as you will notice that damage very quickly. And both players, looks like they're going to go into macro mode here. Little scouting Zergling heading out, seeing what is going on. Going to die a very quick death. He is not going to see much of anything at all, except a wall of zealotry. And yeah, pretty much like I said, just going to be macroing up here. However, mTwDIMAGA still does not have an expansion up. Well, it looks like the expansion is going to go down right now, so that will keep keep Hasu in the game, definitely. As he will most likely maybe get some more warp gates. It looks like he's already pretty heavily invested in the ground forces. So no more upgrades coming for damage or armor. However, the thermal lance upgrade is coming for the Colossi that will soon to be appearing in the field, as the Zerg player continues to beef up his expansion with his awesome spawn pool defense here. And continuing to pump out Hydras, trying to recover from that initial attack here. You can definitely tell the drone line is a little bit less saturated than it was before, so fortunately for him, he is continuing to keep up on the egg injection. And yeah, I don't really know how queens can just inject 4 eggs onto this hatchery. I mean, you don't see the queen carrying around any eggs. And she's already, carrying around the creep tumors that she poops out, so I don't know how big her... I'm not going to contain this conversation. Overlord's pooping out the creep here, making up for any gaps. There shouldn't be any gaps at this point, but that's okay. It really doesn't matter if it's on or off here. As actually, very good move by mTwDIMAGA, expanding this creep right here to the base of this ramp. He probably won't be moving too terribly much through here, as, a lot of players will come through this middle. But what is important about this is he is actually extending his vision range to the base of the ramp. So, if you're playing a Zerg and you don't want to keep a whole bunch of forces here to watch over the ramp, remember you can expand your creep, which he is doing right now. You can see it's kind of slithering up here, and Hasu will most likely see that in the very near future. And it's very likely that mTwDIMAGA will see that this is the warp in point for the Protoss forces as more continue to be warped in. Creep sliding up, gonna get the Zealot's feet wet. As this is one little champ Zergling. Wow, he does not know how lucky he is. He just dodged death in 15 different ways. He is going to get in here and most likely see what is going on. There's one Zealot here spawning in to take care of the Zergling. Doing a couple of taunt attacks on the Protoss base, however. Yep, he is definitely going to get a 100% view of the Protoss base. While Hasu moves in with his double Colossus force here, does have an observer, a couple sentries, bunch of Zealots.